Good morning. We are going fishing. I thought this week we would kind of take you along on some of our adventures, but the whole theme of this video is gonna be, I just tripped over a rock, our RV story, how we got into our RV, how Chase started traveling work without an RV, how we saved up for an RV, which I think a lot of people don't really talk about, is saving money for an RV. And we didn't have a truck when we started either. A time that we actually had to leave our RV at one spot and still had to go travel and work, and how I find cheap housing for that, so that way we could save as much money as possible. So we also thank you for clicking on this video and coming along our many adventures. I'm gonna take this really slow because I feel like I'm gonna slip. If you haven't watched our very first video, sorry, I'm walking really slow here. We mainly talked about what Chase does for work. So Chase is a welder. Hopefully y'all can hear this. This is really loud and I didn't bring the microphones. Our very first video, we talk about his work, what he does and everything. If you are into that, watch that video. We also did a video on travel jobs that no one else talks about. In our first video, we did kind of discuss a little bit of how we got into the RV, but this video is going to expand more onto that. So, welcome aboard. We are on a trail. We've never been on this one before. Actually, the campground, I'll put the name of the campground. We came to go fishing over here at this little creek, tripped again, and we were driving through the campground to kind of scope it out. We saw a sign for a trail and we'd never been here before. So I think this is pretty promising. And yes, holding the GoPro and Kenai. Look at me.
There you go.
Thank you. We thought we'd start from the beginning of our RV travel story. In the beginning, there was Chase working. Just kidding. No. But, so our first video, we talked about how Chase travels for work a lot. But when he started traveling, we didn't own a camper. So we would do hotels, mainly motels, Airbnb sometimes if it was cheaper. And then we were also paying rent where we were staying. And so for probably about, what would you say, like a year or so, we were doing that, saving up money for a camper, because we had like no money, pretty much.
We had no money.
We had no money. So we saved for a good year. I was doing a whole bunch of different jobs and stuff to save money. And while Chase was working, I would go and look for campers at different dealerships. And then oh wow, look at this. This is really pretty. It's like you come out of like the abyss. So we saved up for about a year and a half. I mean, and we like saved. And then when I found the type of camper that I wanted, I looked on RV Trader. And if you don't know, yeah, we can fish right here. And if you don't know what RV Trader is, it's RV Trader. I'll put the link of it below. It's like a site where you can, you can put your make and model of any camper you want, how far you're willing to travel and all that stuff. And so I found just about the same exact camper on RV Trader about a couple hours north of where we were. And it was 10 grand less than the dealership, which just baffles me. And if you don't know, we have a 2014, 13? 10. Montana fifth wheel. We'll do a actual house tour one of these days. But yeah. Now we did not own a truck at the time either. We actually hot-shotted, or we hired someone to move the camper for us. And at the time, Chase was working northwest of Fort Worth, 2 hours from where we needed it at the time. So we hadn't moved over there, and we were at that location for 8 months. Now at that 8 months, Chase was still traveling here and there for work sometimes. Now, he was primarily at this location for the most part, but there were some times where he would have to travel. And since we didn't have a truck, we just left a camper there, and then Chase would go rent a motel for maybe, it was usually 2 to 3 weeks at a time, maybe 4 at the most. And so after 8 months, Chase had heard of a job from a friend in Arizona, and we still didn't have a truck. And when he got the opportunity to go out there, we actually had it hot shot again, or we hired someone to move the camper from Texas to Arizona. And I think that was about like $2,500. So I say that because if you are wanting to do this travel life, like, you know, blue collar stuff, and you don't move that often, you really don't need a truck, because we know one guy, he just hires someone when he has to move every 6 months, and he hires someone to move it for him, and it's cheaper that way than actually having the truck. So just throwing that out there. I want to share as many tips and tricks. So we had saved enough money to where if Chase busted the weld test there, because it wasn't for certain that he had the job, he still had to pass the weld test. So when we got there, he actually, I don't think he's gonna like me saying this, he actually failed one of the weld tests and had to do a 2-for-1, meaning that he had to take 2 weld tests in place of 1. And you have a lot of computer training stuff when you do nuclear plants. So it was a little stressful week. So Chase passed it and he worked there. Our truck still hadn't come in, but we still had to travel. So we left the camper in Arizona, and for 3 months we were in Mississippi and Virginia. And we actually stayed in an RV park where the guy rents out campers. Now, a lot of RV parks do not, what do you call, like, share online that they have campers available to rent. I always call, because the worst they can say is no. So that's a better sight to see than my face. I know, sorry about the shadow. So yeah, so we stayed in a camper for $1,000 a month. It was a very small Coleman camper, no slides, no nothing, but it was way cheaper than any motel, Airbnb in that area, and so we saved a ton. So then after that, we also had stayed in a few motels because I couldn't find a place when we first got there. And then when we went to Virginia, we were staying in a hotel. I did the same thing again. I called RV parks, and one RV park had a cabin, and we were able to rent it out for over a month, and it was way cheaper than a hotel. Plus we got to cook our own food, and at that job I actually was able to work with Chase at that one, so that was really good. Yeah, I hope those tips and tricks kind of help. The thing is with finding cheap housing for this thing is to always call, because you never know. The worst thing that they can say is no. I hope that helps. I hope that gives some tips. We'll do a few more on our next adventure. So yeah, let's keep fishing. So in true Chase and Bryce adventure, the bridge to go over where the trail was completely gone. Well, it wasn't completely gone, it was just like dismantled, I guess. If you had shorts on and chacos or some sort of water shoe, you could easily walk across the little creek and go onto the trail. We're both wearing pants, and Chase is wearing tennis shoes. So that was out of the picture. And of course, someone had to be carried. Not Chase, Kenai, had to be carried going back up.
Sleeping right now.
So yeah, he is literally passed out. But it was very unexpected to do kind of what we did today. We were originally planning to go to the North Clear Creek Falls, which we highly encourage. It's really easy access. You just drive up to it, walk down this little path, and it's right there. So it's super easy. Anyone of all ages could do it. I mean, even elderly people could get to it. It's really easy. And there's a bathroom there too. But we had never driven past it on the road that it's on. So we kept on going. And
that was South Creek, that one that we went to. The bridge
Well,
was
yeah.
elderly. I would not
Yeah.
recommend.
Yeah. No, what we just, the one that we just did with the bridge out, no. Yeah, no. But the main waterfall, all ages. But we kept on driving past the main waterfall, and the views were just absolutely gorgeous. Great, like sort of paved road. Not blacktop, but like
nice
dirt.
gravel taken care of.
Yeah.
Taken care of.
Yeah. And there's a couple campgrounds over there as well. Those you do have to pay for those. It is dry camping, but they have bathrooms as well. Back to our story of how we started RVing. If you were to start over, would you change anything?
I would not.
No. So even having the camper hot-shotted, you wouldn't change it?
No. For what we did, I mean, for our situation with the way I was working and everything, it was the best, way to do it. I mean, for work camping and working on the road, yeah, I think the way we did it was great. Now, to start camping, yeah, I wouldn't be hot-shotting your camper to Colorado, then, to Tennessee. That'd be expensive. That wouldn't be financially feasible at all. But yeah, I mean, if you work just in Texas, for instance, I mean, you really don't, and your jobs are pretty lengthy, and you don't work outside of the state, then yeah, you may never own a truck or a diesel truck to pull your camper around. You can just have it hot-shotted, for probably what it would cost for a monthly payment on a truck.
It's kind of thrown out there sometimes that RVing or RVlife is just expensive with the camper and the truck, and it very much can be. It really can be. Like, you can get the expensive camper, you can get the expensive truck. We opted for used because that was in our budget
For the
camper, and we prefer used. And I would highly encourage shopping around, going to different dealerships to see what kind of model you like, and then going on to RV Trader.
Well, the reason why I never looked, she was the one that looked for everything, but I personally like RV Trader because you can go in there and select what you want, like one owner, however many miles you want to travel to go look at the camper. How many slide outs do you want? I mean, do you want it to be a fifth wheel, a travel trailer, truck camper? So that's why I like the RV Trader app, is what I use. But you could use their website too. It's the same platform.
Yeah, but that's how we started RVing. We really didn't set out to go full-time RVing. It kind of happened to where if I was to see him, we needed to get a camper, and it was cheaper that way because we weren't having to pay for rent in a hotel.
Very affordable, living on the road, working, living out of a camper, opposed to hotel Airbnbs.
Yes,
big time.
Absolutely. Now, even though we did do it was more motels, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
they were not
Marriotts
anything
or
fancy
nice
at all. And in those as well, like when we traveled and we were staying out of places like that, I had 3 tubs that we would put in the back of the pickup that Chase had at the time. One was kitchen utensils per se, like our coffee maker, paper plates, bowls, any type of food. And then I'd have another one that had extra clothes in it, especially for Chase for work clothes. Another one was miscellaneous. And we really didn't eat out a lot either when we were traveling those 3 months out of the, Mississippi and Virginia and stuff. We really ate out. And so that's another way you can save money, is just not eating out a lot, and then put that money towards a camper or a truck. Because this lifestyle is very doable, and you don't need a camper or a truck right off the bat. You can do what we did, saved a ton of money, and it did take over a year, you would say, or about a year to save up for the camper. About a year?
I mean, yeah, it would have been less. I just think we just didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know, we didn't know no one that was doing, even the guys I worked with did not stay in campers. They stayed in motels and hotels. So I didn't have anyone kind of help, guiding us or anything. We just kind of found what we needed to do. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. We wing it a lot, as you can tell. Especially from, if you've seen any of our videos, you know that we wing it a lot. But yeah, I hope that gives you some sort of idea of what you can do. If you have any questions, please let us know. I try to answer them as soon as I can. But yeah, we're also on Instagram. It's pretty much just I don't post a whole lot except for stories, to be quite honest. So if you do follow us on Instagram, don't expect too much. We will hang out, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, if we think of anything else,
We'll add it.
we will add on to this video. If not, this is probably where this video is going to end. And we really greatly appreciate every one of you that watches our videos. And it's starting to rain. So, you want to try that again?
Do it.
Surprise. Not shocked at all. And that is Kenai. This dog. Anyway, we are outside. Chase is still asleep. Huh, buddy? Forgot to mention that Chase went to welding school. When he was finishing up, he actually met a guy who was taking a weld test there. Well, not at the school, he was practicing for a weld test. His instructor said, hey, I have this guy, Chase, great welder. Do you know of any jobs that are opening up? And he was like, yeah, actually the one I'm gonna take a weld test for, they have some openings. And so Chase called them. He went to go take a weld test for them, and the rest is pretty much history. Chase at the time was actually working at a fab shop, and the fab shop was very kind enough to let him go and work this job. And they said, hey, like, stop moving. Oh, I love you too. And they said, once you're done with that job, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome to. So I say that because Chase knew a little bit about welding, but welding school was great. So we really highly encourage trade schools, obviously, because we are blue collar RVers. But stop moving. Hey, chill right here. But I hope that kind of gives you an idea that there are other options out there when it comes to RVing. We are not saying that our story, if you follow it step by step, then you'll be able to do this. We are just sharing our story, how it happened. What are you doing? Okay. We are just sharing our story and maybe hopefully give some, tips on what we did, because like Chase said earlier, there was no one that was doing what we were doing, because a lot of these guys, if they do have a camper, they go home to their families or they go back to a home base, and we don't do any of that. So we're hoping that our channel can kind of maybe shed some light on what we do and how we do it. Oh, buddy. So anyway, by the time this video comes out, the next day we will actually be leaving this RV park, and we're going to be going somewhere new and actually doing something that we've never done before. Actually, we'll be doing a lot of things, but one in particular we have never done before with RVing. So that's Chase. Chase just woke up. So yeah, we really thank you all for watching our videos. When I say thank you, we really, really mean it. We really thank you very much. It is really awesome to see, I guess, how this if you heard that, that was Chase. I also know I'm going to get some questions about the truck situation. So what was supposed to be 3 months turned into 8 months. Oh, thanks, buddy. And we were originally supposed to get this one truck, but it somehow derailed. And then we had to wait for this other truck. And it was also during the time when just like getting trucks was hard. So we ended up finally getting that truck, and we were able to move the camper to, all the different job sites and stuff. And then that truck just kind of wasn't a good fit, and now we have this truck. So I hope that kind of explains the whole truck situation. I know that was kind of confusing. the way to find hotshot people who transport campers, Facebook groups is a great thing. Like RV, I was in a Texas RV group and I found a hotshot guy that way. So I know Craigslist, there's people who do hotshots. I found one guy who moved it from the original site where we bought the camper to where we needed it to be. Ooh, big yawn. And it wasn't that much. I think it cost a couple $100. Now that was like 3 years ago. So stop moving. But anyway, I hope that explains the truck situation. But if anything was not clear, please drop a comment. I will try to stop moving to stop. Oh, try to answer them as much as I can. So, morning.
Good morning.
What are you gonna do today?
We go fishing.
Yeah.
We're leaving Saturday morning. And tomorrow, I'm not really want to do anything other than just kind of chill here. So today I'm gonna go fishing, and yeah.
I think next video, at the beginning of next video, we'll talk more about this RV park we stayed at and details on it because we really recommend it. Yeah. But it's been fabulous. So you watched the last video. Anything I missed?
I can't say anything bad about it.
Nice. Thank you.
Did a great job.
Oh, thanks, babe. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll see y'all next week.